Welcome back, football fans, and wow, what a response to the previous video, the Champions League final game week video. 27,000 views in just over a day. Absolutely smashed it, and it was well worth it, wasn't it? Well worth the watch, because we had this winner on the video. Well done to you if you were on that. And as you can see behind me here, we are taking a look at the Europa League in this video. We have so many fixtures, another 18 fixtures here on OddAlerts. Absolutely fantastic. There's some value here to be had for sure. There is a lot of jeopardy as well, as we will see when we check out the table in a moment. But first, I've got a question to ask you. The question is this: how many goals will there be across these 18 fixtures? Get your predictions in the comments and you will be automatically entered into a draw to win OddAlerts Pro this week. After the game's finish, basically, I'll have to count up all the goals and then see who was right. In fact, no, it doesn't matter who was right. Just any comment is automatically entered into a draw. Let's see who is right. If somebody actually gets it, then maybe you can go into another draw for maybe 3 months of Pro or something. Anyway, let's take a look at the table. So Lazio are the best team in the Europa League. That much is clear at the moment. 4 goals conceded, no defeats. Also no defeats for Man United, who make up 4th spot at the moment. They are not safe in the playoff spots. Neither are Lyon, Spurs, Anderlecht or Basel, who are all on 14 points beneath them. Man United could avoid defeat and they would stay in. But the teams below them, they must win tonight, I feel. Tottenham, they don't want to leave it up to chance. They're hosting Elfsborg, who themselves, as we can see here, are on 10 points. And look at the teams below. Porto just outside. FC Twente, Braga on 7 points. Hoffenheim not out yet. Tel Aviv not out yet. There are some very interesting matchups given where these teams are as well, as we'll see in a moment when we take a look at the fixtures. So we'll start by taking a look at the probability model. I've got it enabled right here. We can see Tottenham 1.79 with the model. There is a value bet in that game, and it is for BTTS, and that is what I'm going to be putting on in one of my predictions anyway, because I think Tottenham are very vulnerable at the moment. Van der Ven is back in the squad. I'm not sure he'll be risked for this game. Tottenham expected to win this game. Let's take a look at the data. Expected to get the job done. 1.23 is the peak at the moment, and we can see the probability model for BTTS 1.53, whereas in reality, BTTS was 2.2. It has dropped considerably. It's dropped considerably. I posted about it on X previously when I first saw it, because I thought that's a great value bet given how Tottenham have been playing. And well done if you got on that, because now it is as low as 1.75. We can just check out the odds movement tool here to see that it did drop from 2.2. Yeah, well done if you got on that. I still think it's worth it. I still think they will concede, but obviously it's still a value bet as well based on the OddAlerts probability model. But this is what happens when you value bet. You get the alerts early, you get on, and then the odds they drop as the game gets closer and as everybody else gets on the games. So Tottenham to get the job done but concede, I think, is a pretty good option tonight. Let me know what you think about that in the comments after you've guessed how many goals there's going to be, of course. Rangers at home. Rangers can still sneak into the playoffs, can't they? So Rangers on 11 points. Yeah, definitely they can do it. They've got a positive goal difference. And you see here, what makes it interesting with these playoff spots is that not many teams are light years ahead in terms of the goal difference. In fact, there's not much at all between them. You can see there, Lyon, they are the highest rated team in terms of the probability model, 1.54, 64% gives the model for them. But there is an interesting stat with them that I saw previously. If we look at the results in the Europa League, they drew the previous game, but actually they have drawn the last 4 games coming into this. Interesting to note, but Ludogorets away from home, they win most of their games, by the way, in their respective league. But in the Europa League, it's not been great this season. They've failed to score in quite a few games, failed to score in the previous game. Away from home, they have failed to score in 3 of the last 3 games. And that's not good enough for them. And you would expect Lyon to get the job done, as do the bookmakers at 1.18 minimum with Betfair. Next, we'll check out Basel, who are hosting Manchester United, and Manchester United, of course, looking to remain unbeaten in the competition. But as you can see here, if we look at the overall form, Basel, they have lost just 11% of games, 2 points per game. Goal difference 4 against 5. Again, there's not much between these teams at the top end of the table. In terms of goals scored, Man United are scoring 2 per game in this competition, but overall, at the minute, Basel have not lost many games. In general, the Europa League looks like this: 1 defeat, which was to Rangers. And we saw Rangers get behind and, cause Manchester United problems in the previous game. They had to win it late, didn't they, through Bruno Fernandes. But just in general as well, Basel, if we look at their form, not lost many games at all. They've lost twice since early November. So this won't be an easy game for Manchester United. And if we look at the goals conceded as well, they've conceded just 8 goals in this game. So unders could potentially be the play, with Manchester United knowing that a draw, avoiding defeat will do the job for them. Will Amorim change his system at all just to be a bit more solid? Does someone like Casemiro come in for this game? Yet to be seen. Away from home, this is what they're doing so far. BTTS in every game, to be fair. And actually, BTTS in all but 1 game this season in the Europa League. So will that happen again? Let us know your predictions in the comments for this one. Let's take a look at cards. I've got some interesting card data to show you in a moment from the Turkish teams. And just so you can get a feel for it, Basel 5.44 here. Manchester United, not many cards at all, which is a bit of a turnaround from the start of the season under Ten Hag. They were consistently receiving 2 or more cards in their games, but that has dropped since Ten Hag has been sacked, or maybe since Casemiro has exited the midfield and there's not so many gaps in the midfield. So maybe Basel to get some cards tonight. We'll take a look at that in a moment when we jump to Bet365. Let us know what your predictions are for the Manchester United game in the comments. We will now take a look at the game of the day on paper. Ajax Galatasaray, nice big fixture, 2 big teams, but in reality, as I say, Ajax can't really do anything, so that might impact the result. Galatasaray, they have not lost a game of football since August, since the Champions League playoffs. They are one of the best teams in Turkey, of course, that goes without saying, but in this competition, the teams that they've played and the players that they've got, some of the results have been a little bit surprising, to be honest. We can take a look here. They played Rigas FC away from home and drew 2-2. They've been conceding in the majority of games. BTTS in every single game for Galatasaray. Will that happen again? Let's have a look at the odds and let's see if it's worth it. And we can see that the bookies actually are not really sure which way this one's going to go. But I think with Ajax unable to qualify automatically, that could swing the result in Galatasaray's favour. Let me know what you think about that in the comments. BTTS 1.36. So what I'm going to do is set an alert on that. BTTS, let me know if it hits 1.8. And then I will go in and investigate. Incidentally, the probability model for this game, BTTS 63%, so we can generate a fixture simulation. We get a 2-1 Ajax win, so the probability model is favouring Ajax, and we can see their home form across all competitions. They are a very good home team, losing to Lazio recently, who are as well a good team. They're top of the Europa League, as we saw. Yeah, let us know what you think about this one. I'm going to add some selections in Bet365, and we will jump over there in a moment. Now then, we will take a look at Rangers. We'll take a look at Rangers, shall we? 43% identical records for these teams, both on 11 points. So actually, if we jump back to the table, Rangers and Union Saint-Gilloise, they are all on 11 points, AZ as well. So Rangers, AZ and Union can all get to 14 points, which is what Lyon, Tottenham, Anderlecht and Basel are all on. So if one of those teams is defeated, then one of these 3, and obviously some of the other teams as well, will be there to pounce. But the fact that Rangers are facing Union makes it very interesting indeed. And it's interesting because Rangers are in good form. Rangers have averaged 2 goals per game. They're at home, which is what they'll want. Now, Union have kept things tight, as you can see. 7 goals scored, 6 conceded. But the results recently for Union are very good across all competitions. Just 1 defeat since October. So this is not a team to be messed with, and I'm sure Rangers will be aware of that. I think with these games, the jeopardy is different, isn't it? You're fighting to get into that automatic spot, whereas the other teams at the end, you fight, you don't want to lose, you don't want to make a mistake, you don't want to go out of the competition. This could be a good game. It could be a fun game. I don't think these two teams are they've got nothing to lose in terms of going out of the competition, have they? So I think Union will go there and just try and win the game. Why wouldn't you? Because on the other side of the coin, for Rangers, look at their home form compared to the away form, by the way. For Rangers, it's not like they can't not try and win this game, right? Because they've got to. They're not in the best position. If they win, it's like, oh, we're going to go straight to automatic spots. So it's just a bit of a free hit, really, for both of these teams, I feel, which leans into goals, it leans into BTTS. And just going back to goals, we can confirm that Rangers have scored in every game that they played in the competition, which is very, very good. We had them in the previous Europa League video for shots on target at Manchester United. Over 3 shots on target, they had 7, and that was 1.66, and that was a winning selection as well for the Europa League in the previous video, which was very nice. I think it was 5.44 odds or something. So yeah, Rangers against Union is an interesting game. Let me know what you think about that one in the comments. Next up, we'll take a look at Hoffenheim, who are away from home, and look away now if you're a Hoffenheim fan, because we're just going to take a look at the results quickly. Anderlecht, by the way, what a performance in the Europa League so far. Lost the previous game, and Hoffenheim, across all competitions, 1 victory since November. 1 victory since November, away from home. They do come into this having won the previous game, but if we just look at the Europa League table, they're on 6 points. -4 goal difference. They could make it. But of course, Braga, FC Twente, Porto, well positioned, better positioned than them. And of course, you would need teams above them to lose their games as well, which is highly, highly unlikely. And for Anderlecht, they are a pretty good team. We saw their Europa League form actually very, very good. Defeat in the previous game. Let's see where that ranks them. We can just check out this. They are 7th. So they are just inside. So they'll be wanting to make sure they stay in that automatic spot, which I think adds to the jeopardy, and which for me makes the odds very, very enticing. 2.29 peak at the moment for Anderlecht, and I'm going to be looking at double chance or draw no bet for this. Let me know what you think in the comments. If we look at the fixture prediction, the probability model, we can see that just over 50%, so they are favourites. The away win just 24%. If we generate a prediction, it will give us a 2-1 victory to Anderlecht. Let's see how this one goes. As always, let me know what you are thinking in the comments. So from Hoffenheim to Porto, sticking with those teams that really do need a victory. In the last 6 games for Tel Aviv, they have seen over 2.5 goals in every single game. And this is the Europa League form, and you can see that it transcends into the Europa League form as well. But if we look at all competitions, 3-1, 4-1, 1-2, 2-2, 5-1, 2-2, 3-0. Quite a few victories as well. Home games, they're not playing at home, I don't think, in most of these games, or not in the European games. So it's not exactly home advantage for them at the minute. Lost the previous game. Their last game was 18th of January, which, you know, that could impact them in this game. That's nearly 15 days ago. So for Porto, they've not won in 4 games. They need to turn it around. Their Europa League form as well, they've won just twice. Away from home, BTTS in every game, and they have scored in every game, of course, with BTTS landing. That is a tough run, isn't it, really? Bodo Glimt, Lazio and Anderlecht, so they'll be hoping they can beat Tel Aviv tonight. And I think they've got a good chance, to be fair. Given the players they've got, it's a big night. They need to just get the job done to qualify. Can they do it? I think they can. Looking at the goal data as well, though, 1.91 goals per game for Tel Aviv. They are no pushovers. They've scored in the majority of games, no nil-nils. BTTS in 64% of their games. And as we can see, 100% of games for Porto away from home. Will this one end with BTTS? That's the way I'm sort of gravitating. Let me know what you think. So here we are then with the slip that I've put together. Let me just walk you through it, and we could potentially trim off some of the fat in here as well. I'm showing it you on Bet365. Someone commented on a previous video saying, are you affiliated with them? Do you? Absolutely not. I've never sent anybody to any bookmakers. There's no adverts on OddAlerts or affiliate links or anything like that. I just use it because the UI is nice and clean, and it's easy for the purpose of the video. If I was using Betfair, you'd be like this, trying to, you know, see the actual selections. So Rangers shot markets are not available for this one, so I've gone for corners. Shots lead to corners, of course. For them to have over 3 corners in the whole game and for them to win or draw. Remember the jeopardy, remember the home form, and Union, whilst they're a good team, they rarely score more than once, so I think Rangers can certainly get ahead in this game, score 2 or 3 goals. And again, this will be it's a bit of a free hit for both of these teams. Anderlecht, draw no bet, 1.61. We saw the form of Hoffenheim, and on the other side of the coin, we saw Anderlecht and how they've done in this competition so far, and they need to get a result in order to stay in the automatic spots. A draw might do it for them, which is why draw no bet is a good option here as well. So just remove some of the risk. BTTS in Porto and Tel Aviv. I was looking at Porto to get the job done, but not too confident given that they've lost the last 4 games. So I think Tel Aviv, given that there's some jeopardy there as well, I think BTTS is a good option at 1.8. And similarly, 1.8 for Tottenham Elfsborg. Now, this one has dropped considerably. I tipped it on X the other day when it was at 2.2. Now it's 1.8. That just shows the value of the value bet alerts that we do, the automated alerts. And draw or Galatasaray 1.57. This is 15-fold. So 15 odds. Let me know what you would do. Would you split it in half? Maybe you keep the 2 BTTS games together and then have the rest of it. Maybe you don't feel as confident in some of these games as me. Let me know in the comments what you're on for tonight. And I'm going to take you to a tool now that helped me in my research. And I'm just going to show you how to use it quickly, and there will be a link in the description to this tool. So this is the football form guide. You can access this right now if you head to the description and click on the link, and we can see last 10 games. We're looking at the top European leagues, but we could just look at the Premier League if we wanted to, the Europa League, as we've just been talking about, and we can group all teams in Europe and see who is the top performing team. PSG have won 9 of the last 10. They're away at Brest this weekend. What you can also do is click on the team, and then it'll bring up this view, and you can just see where they rank for certain metrics. So that is the form guide. If you check it out, I hope you enjoy it. So that has been the video. I hope you've enjoyed it. And remember to get your predictions in the comments if you want to win OddAlerts Pro. 18 games. How many goals will there be? I'm going to go with a pretty generous guess. I'm going to say 51. Let's hope we get some crazy games like we did in the Champions League and in the previous week as well with the 5-4 for Barcelona, stuff like that. Let's hope we do. Plenty of goals, plenty of jeopardy. And I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let's see if it can get 27,000 likes like the last one.